On your marks, get set, bake.
I love that. Really like.
That is delicious.
Bakers, your time is up.
Welcome back to the tent. It's Krème. It's a great British bake-off podcast hosted by me, the Internet's Terror 713, and by her, the Internet's Nick Jew.
I don't like basketball that much anyway.
I truly need the Knicks to win.
Yeah.
I don't bang with the Knicks like that.
Same.
I really, really hate Boston like that. And I would love an old school Knicks Pacers kind of vibe from like the 90s kind of situation.
Let the Knicks win it all.
Yeah, man. Because I truly don't want. Well, I wouldn't care if Minnesota won. I have no will whatever with them. That'd be fine. But I'm not. Yeah. I'm not rooting for it.
Same. I mean, they beat us, so like they should win. But I don't see that happening for them.
I'm kind of done with the season at this point.
Yeah, no, basketball's over. Yay, baseball. Go Guards.
I am hyped for baseball, so it's all good. Oh my gosh, y'all. This, I need y'all to know, has gone by in a blur. We have been so busy running and making this show, and to look up and be at the end already is crazy.
It's over. It's over.
Here we are. We got to put something in the middle of the year. There's a large gap between now and late September, usually when Bake Off comes back. So we got to figure something out. What that will be, I don't know. I'm certain you all will have recommendations. But that's just how we get down, people. And we do every week. We have a little news segment. Last week, actually had an article because we didn't have nobody on the show. But this week we got somebody on the show, and not only somebody, we got two somebodies. Me and Brad linked up to interview the winner. Well, I'm not going to say right now, but in a few, I will tell you who the winner is. But right here is going to be an interview with the winner, so you'll have known before we tell you who the winner is at the end of the show. Trust me, I knew who the winner was before any of these episodes ever aired. It kind of wrecked me. I don't like being that ahead of the game. I like last go around there, like, you want to interview the winner? And I was like, yes, I do. But they just said that. They didn't give me anything more than that. But this time, different PR firm was like, you want to interview the winner, this person right here? And I'm like, oh, okay. So
it was, I found out, like, you never really said it, but just while we were recording, I was like, oh, I know now who won. And so it kind of changed my watching experience. Like, I used to be like, no spoiler, whatever. And now when I find out spoilers, I'm still interested in how the sausage was made. Yeah. But the whole watch, I was just like, well, I think this person's going to win. But I'm like, oh, wait, no. I know who's going to win. But that's how I watch the show anyway. I'm always picking a winner based off of how everyone did every week. So it didn't change it much.
It was not one. But that being said, that means you need to get this video, and I'll push play on it right now. Bakers make the world go round. Ladies and gentlemen and MBs, the champ is here. Yes, indeed. It's Kim Clark, Mrs. Kim Clark, forgive me. Thank you so very much for joining us in the podcast situation. We are going to talk to you about all things the Great American Baking Show. If you're not down with the Great American Baking Show on Roku, you probably should be. I keep telling y'all should be watching it, but some these people just get like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know about Roku. I'm like, it's easy. If you don't have a Roku device, it's available on the internet on the RokuChannel.com. Go watch it, people. But I am not alone. I got the homie Brad, who was a baker from last season, but also hung out with us a couple of times on last season and on when we reviewed the most recent series of Bake Off. So, Brad, welcome back to it, sir.
Thank you, and great to be here, and great to see Kim again.
Excellent. Kim, congratulations.
Nice to see you.
I'm like,
thank you so much.
I kid you not. So the best and worst part about this is, of course, they'd be like, hey, you want to interview the champ? Her name is this. And I'm like, you just spoiled the show for me. No.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a shame.
It is. And it's like, at the same time, I'm like, well, you know what? It's okay. There has to be a winner. And I get to know the winner and get to talk to her. Yeah, I get to talk to her and hang out with her. So it's okay. I'll be all right with it. Like,
I'll you get a lot of perks that way, so it's all good.
Yeah, for sure. I get to hang out with you and chat and shoot the breeze, and it's going to be lovely and wonderful. So, Brad and I are going to hang out, ask you a bunch of questions. You tell us what you are so inclined to share with us. The one I always start with, and Brad can tell you the same. Were you a fan of the Bake Off before you became a baker in the tent?
Yes, the British baking show and the American baking show are some of my favorite shows. And I watched it for years. It would almost be like white noise in the background. And I just became like a fan and student of the show.
So it is one of those things that became even before the pandemic was like a comfort watch, and so I very much enjoyed it, and I saw a couple of, they were a couple of takes of the Great American version before Roku really, in my opinion, got it dialed in. And so it's been very fun to see this version of it because it's like it's so much fun.
Just seeing Paul and Prue being added into it and it being the same as the British show. I mean, I think that's what
it just
moved
it
up.
It certainly adds something. Going to the tent in England and not hanging out in on a sound stage in Cali somewhere probably helps the cause.
But yeah, I was a huge fan of the show, and then people would tell me you should be on it, and I didn't believe them. And then I thought, well, maybe. And this is my fourth time auditioning. I met Brad not this past before. I came really close, didn't get on. I'm like, well, I'm doing this again. I'm the kind of person that doesn't give up.
Yeah.
And then when I got on, the number 4 is my lucky number. So I thought, ooh, maybe there's something to it. And what's cool, T, is that I submitted my audition and video. I baked a cake. I'm that kind of person. It's a video. Nobody's eating the cake, but I like to do extra.
Yeah.
So I made this frog cake, and it was a 4 froggy cake for leap year because I submitted it on February 29th every 4 years. I'm like, all right, everything's got a theme, everything's got a tie-in. And it worked. And then it was the 4th year applying. And then when I did the New York tasting, I made a bunny cake, which it ties into the finale because I repeated the bunny, different version, but it was like, all right, this bunny got me in, and I'm going to take the bunny with me to the end.
Nice.
So yeah, it was just like a full circle dream experience, really.
Absolutely love it. Oh my gosh. Tell me about yourself. Who are you? What's going on? When did you start baking? So forth and so on.
Sure. So I always watched my grandmother and my mom bake. My grandparents lived with my parents, my brother and I. And I was always like little and always wanted to help out and would watch them. And then eventually, because they would bake all the time, they would help me by going, oh, here's a piece of dough, go play with it, Kimmy. And then my grandmother was the one was like, no, I'm going to show you. And then I was very close with my grandma. And toward the end of her life, she went blind. And so I would be her eyes, and we would watch all these baking shows like Galloping Gourmet and Julia Child. And I would tell her, okay, Graham, they're putting in the cream, or, okay, they're mixing the dough, because she couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And then inevitably, like I'd say, oh, they just added paprika or some outlandish ingredient. She'd be like, oh, they killed it. They just killed it. And then I'm an actress. And I did a lot of musical theater, and I would, audition. And then I would find myself going to like Barnes and Noble and sitting and writing recipes. Cause for years I would like bake a little. And then as the years went on, I got more involved. And then just, I would say about, I don't know, maybe the last 8 or so years, the passion really kind of increased and got nurtured, and then grew, like we're self-taught. It was the kind of thing where I'm like, I want to learn how to do this. And I would teach myself like how to, whether it's piping a cookie or making Italian meringue buttercream or sculpting a cake to look like, a rabbit or something. It was just something I didn't know I could do. I didn't think I had the talent to do, but I think when you love something, it sparks that fire. And it is, I have to say, it's ironic that, my first love was theater and musical theater and dancing and all that. And I was, pretty successful, but always in the back, concurrent, was baking.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, it's the ultimate form of love, because you're literally giving somebody something that you've created to ingest and to feel the love that you have for them.
Yeah.
And there's nothing.
And it also seems in your baking, when you look at your pictures on Instagram, you have no fear of trying something and failing, and you try these things and they just come out so amazing.
And my dad died very suddenly. So we didn't want my mom to be alone. So we sold our New York City apartment and then helped my mom sell the home that I grew up in, the home that she grew up in. She lived there since she was 6. So it was the only home she ever really knew. She was originally from Brooklyn. And we found this house and we converted it to be conducive to a mother-daughter. So my mom has a separate everything, separate, place to live, separate entrance. So, I love my mom, but we would fight. So, but it's good. She's my bulldog when I'm on the road.
So tell me about this bulldog. This guy's like famous.
Yeah. So Mr. Bentley, God love him, he's very famous. It didn't start out that way. I do auto shows around the country, and I used to do these tours in the summer. The Genesis tour, Genesis Coupe tour, Sonata and Sensor tour, and then they stopped. So I found myself like with nothing to do in the summer. And I had a friend that said, well, Kim, why don't you have like a page for Mr. Bentley on Facebook? And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be one of those freaks that does a page for their dog. Cut to, I'm a complete lunatic. So it started out where B was just going to like wear these costumes, and I was going to do this, character voice. And I did. It sounded like this old lady, like, hello, everybody, Mr. Bentley here, like insane. And you were never going to see me. It was like the character of Wilson in like Home Improvement, like just over the fence kind of a thing. And then eventually people saw me and they're like, I didn't expect you to look like that. Like I pictured you like 105 years old or something. And then it just grew. And I guess, people are entertained by a bulldog, whatever. And then the pandemic hit, and it exploded because it turned into just like me sitting, looking like ass, like no makeup on, hair in a bun, drinking like, my coffee and home cooking for B. And people would tune in around the world just to listen to me. It was almost like a town square because, like everybody, they were lonely. They were afraid. We didn't know what was going on. Nobody was going anywhere. And I really found it was so rewarding to provide some comfort to people. And the viewership grew. Like people would tune in like from Seychelles and South Africa and, the Maldives. So I would say, hey, hey T, where you listening from? And you'd be like, hey, from Ohio. And it's amazing. It became a community, and it grew to like 60,000 international fans. And they love my mom. Like my character's name is Mama. So they're like, Mama, and my mom would like make an appearance, and we would bake. Sometimes we would do live videos, and I do a lot of animal rescue volunteer work. So we would like do a video of us baking. We're like, yeah, it's free. Everything was free because I'm no good with money. I'm like, I just want to help people, make you laugh. I don't want to make money. I just want to help dogs and make you laugh and feed you. But if you want to contribute to, let's say, Long Island Bulldog Rescue or whomever, go ahead. And it would raise money. I actually once did an off-Broadway show. My friend wrote this play that we did in the Fringe. And we were sitting around, think the people that run the Bulldog Rescue, like how to raise money. And I was like, well, I have a lot of talented friends. Maybe we could do like a cabaret night and raise money for the Bulldogs. And then we thought, well, we better not do that because we have to pay for like the rights to the music. But my friend wrote this play, so let's see if we want to just revive it. Everybody said yes. Nobody took a dime. Petco found out about it. We ended up doing it at New World Stages where Rent played. We raised $25,000 in one night for the Long Island. It's like one of my most proud achievements, other than winning the baking show. Now I can say that. Yeah, it's very true. Actually, it's like, whoop, that just picked it. But $25,000. Everybody said yes, and it just showed like the power of one person going, I want to help. Well, I can help too. And then all of a sudden it grew. So like Mr. Bentley's world, the same thing. Like I was just trying to, do something with a summer with a bulldog. And then it suddenly grew to a community where people are so wonderful. Like it just shows you the power of humanity. Yeah. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, look at me. It's a universal trait that people are looking to connect and to be a part of something and to feel like they matter. And the truth of the matter is we all do. And if the central being is a bulldog that brings you together, or a piece of cake or something, I mean, how beautiful is that? So, yeah, I mean, I'll show you something, T and Brad. Look at this. When Bentley passed away, I mean, the house he actually passed away during the pandemic, which was a real shame, but he almost lived to be 12. And I think my home cooking actually extended his life because his two siblings, they all died of the same thing, but they died when they were 9 and B almost lived to 12. Yeah. So it's like, it shows you like what you put in. If there's goodness going in, it helps you in the long run. But like after he died, the house looked like a funeral home. Like people were sending flowers. They were sending me money. I'm like, don't send me money. Donate it to your local rescue. Like I ended up donating it to local rescue here. I donated all of his toys. But look at this. Like they sent me they commissioned an artist to paint that for me. Oh. I mean, I'm telling you, the things that they did, they sent me blankets. I mean, it was astounding because, of course, I'm an open book. Clearly, I just tell you anything, and I have no qualms about just being honest. And I think, because I let them into my home, and they watched me cry, they cried with me. They're part of the family. So the power of Mr. Bentley is truly astounding. So like when we got the brief of, four-legged friend, I'm like, oh, come on. I mean, seriously, I'm not making you a horse. Like, it was going to be like, no doubt. Like my fans were like writing in from all over the place going, oh my God, Mr. Bentley. And I just knew, which of course, lent to me being so emotional because I'm like, and Zach had it. Come on. Zach wanted me to cut the onions. You know what I mean? Like, don't ask me some bullshit about like, well, what would he say to you? Really? You just want me to cry? Come on. Which I happily obliged.
But you find a lot of these stories among all of the bakers. So over the years, when we've talked and met each other, we find that everyone's involved in their community. Everyone's looking. And I mean, this baking is just this expression of love that just goes to the people like Kim, people like Mackenzie last year. And that, I mean, Chris was out doing his sea lion rescue this weekend. And and the greatest part, T, is that we're all communicating. We all have a chat we've been doing. And so as soon as the announcement came out of the new cast, Victoria scurried out and found the addresses and phone numbers for everyone. Yeah. So it's like this big love fest.
There is a certain, I don't want to say type, but there's an energy that comes from the bakers and people who make this show. And I think it's one of the reasons people like me, who's just, are a fan of the show, love the show, because it's like these people are, of course, they're artists and so forth and so on, but they seem to be people who are community minded and interested in doing more than just becoming, I guess, baking famous. Because of course, look, what I find to be one of the best parts about Bake Off is you win a plate. you're not gonna walk away stinking rich and so forth and so on, but you do get a pretty sweet plate.
Well, that's the thing. Like when people don't know and then they say like, "What you win?" I'm like, "This amazing plate," and they look at you like you're insane. I'm like, "You don't understand." I mean, these are the same people that cry over a handshake. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different animal. But it's funny. Like when I got the call to be on the show, I said to Matt Nakamura, I go, "Oh my God, I'm going to be in the tent."
Yeah.
And he laughed. He goes, "You all refer to it as like this mythical, like, heaven. Like you're going to the tent." I'm like, because it is.
It is the cathedral of baking. And we all, the fact that you all get to go attend service there, it's like going to the baking Vatican. That's amazing. That's right. I absolutely love that for you all.
And so Kim, how did you feel the first day, the first time they took you over there and said, "Okay, we're going to show you around a little bit," and you walked in the tent? Can you describe that feeling?
Yeah, it was out of body. It was very surreal because, of course, you're seeing something that you've watched for years and you're there. And what I likened it to on my first Vox Pop was, remember the toy, the color forms?
Yes.
I'm dating myself. But I felt like a color form where like somebody just peeled me out of New York and they stuck me on, the area, the wall, the environment of the tent and the field and all this. And I thought, how in the hell did I get here? Like, I know all the journey and the days that got me here, but truly it was mind blowing. So you didn't know whether to like do a cartwheel or cry or laugh. Like the bakers and I were just like looking at each other, like marveling. But then you're like, what, like truly, like what's happening? Like, because you want to get down to business because you don't want to like wig out and just spend the whole time like being goggled because you're like, oh my God, I got to actually bake something and get my head on a swivel. But no joke, Brad, it was one of the most incredible, surreal, heart blossoming feelings of my life. Truly. And like you say, it was like the cathedral of love that I'm like, I am one of you now. Like this is because I say like, yes, I won the fabulous plate and all that. But if you make it to that tent, you are a winner. I don't care what anybody says. Like in my mind, any of us could have won it a bad day and you get the boot, and that could have been any of us. And everybody is so beautiful and talented and so special that it's an honor and a joy. Yes. Well, and the thing about it is I was that person. And if there's one message I could give to anybody, it's like, don't ever say no to yourself because, life's hard enough. There's so many other people that are going to say, you shouldn't, or no. Don't you be one of them. You know what I mean? Like anything is possible. And if you just believe that you could do it, it's in the trying. Like, one of the biggest things I learned is I'm not going to stop. I might not win. I might get the boot. Mine might be the worst piece of crap ass on this plate, but I'm not quitting. And at the end of the day, I could put my head on my pillow and go, you did your best, Kim. And that's something to be proud of. And if you make an intent, you hold that head up high. And if you want to be in that tent, you damn well go for it, because you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's delve into baking at this point. So you get to go to Europe, hang out in England. Had you traveled internationally before? Had you gotten over to Europe before?
A little bit.
Kim,
I went to you.
Kim, tell them the story about 2 years ago about how your tasting, where your tasting was, since it wasn't in New York.
Oh, it's a great story, Brad. Yeah. So because I travel on business for auto shows, but also sometimes we go on vacation.
Yeah.
I wasn't in New York for the New York tasting. I was in Europe, and I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to miss this opportunity. I was in Italy. We went on a cruise, so we went to Barcelona and France, Spain, France, and Italy. But I thought, all right, what am I going to do? How am I going to go? So I asked, well, where else are you going to be? And they said, well, and they named the places, and LA was one of them. So I asked one of my friends who lives in LA, can I just stay to your house and bake? And she was amazing. She was like, whatever you need. So I flew myself out there with like luggage full of all my, tools and products and whatnot. And I baked, and I did the whole thing. Her oven did not work. It was a nightmare. I was like crying till like 3 a.m, like at her oven, going, come on. And I didn't get on, but it's not why I didn't get on. I actually did well and moved on to the Pasadena round, which is how I met Brad.
Yeah.
But in any event, so I have traveled to Europe before, but never to England.
Yeah.
The closest I got was the airport, because my husband is one of 17 brothers and sisters.
Holy smokes.
Right, T? I mean, come on. And same parents. It's not like a Brady Bunch situation. Yeah. Same parents. So I said to my husband on our first date, he told me this, because my husband's quiet. I'm clearly not. We were fixed up by a mutual friend. And we went to see As Good as It Gets and went to dinner, and then he walked me home. So, I'm like, oh, where you from? How many siblings do you have? And he's like, well, you won't believe me. I'm like, wow. I go, I'll believe you. He goes, there are 16 of us. And I go, name them. And so he goes, well, I have to name them in order. I go, well, I don't know the difference, whatever. So we named them all. And okay, anyway, but the baby wanted to get married in Ireland because the dad is originally from Ireland. So the whole family went to Ireland, but we only stopped off at the airport in England. And it's always been where I wanted to go. So in addition to being in the tent and getting to bake for Paul and Prue, I'm like, I'm going to England, Yeah. Saw nothing, which I'm very grateful for, because, I was in the tent. So
nice. So you
missed a lot of good bakeries.
Yeah.
I know. I'll have to go back.
So of course you get to discover, and Brad and I and everybody else have spoken about this, the joy of I'm not going to say weird, but different English ingredients.
Got that right. Well, so, I have to say, there's that learning curve. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, I'm sure all the other bakers have, spoken about it before, but it remains to be true. You get there. I mean, their cream and their butter is so much better. Oh my God. You get spoiled.
I feel like I need to just go. Well, I probably could just find a local shop that might sell some stuff like that. I feel like that probably is a thing. But like when I hear like there are multiple types of sugars and multiple types of, look, this is a double cream, but this is a triple cream. This is used for this. I remember Brad saying their cream cheese was I guess thinner.
Yeah, like even their confectioner's sugar.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's not for nothing. That's god awful, because I made my own fondant for Cake Week, and I was like cursing to try to get it to like sieve.
Yeah.
So like when I went to the finals, and my friend Robert, like, because they told us, oh, you can bring people. I said, Robert, do you want to come? And when he was able to, I literally said, get with Jerry, my husband, and bring me a thing of luggage of products. So he brought me my like icing sugar and like other stuff, because I'm like, this might be superior, but this really, kind of sucks is horrible. So yeah, it is the learning curve of going, well, I've just practiced these bakes, but now I've got to practice them again to see how it is affected. I once did the cherry mint bunt cake with a different, like a cake flour that was from Italy. The worst piece of garbage. Let me tell you, T. And I took pictures of it. I wanted to like throw it against the wall. It was so bad. And I thought, my cherries are on the floor practically. It was horrible. Like but yeah, it's one of the things about that everybody's in the same boat. You got to go, okay, you know, unless you practice in America with those ingredients, which is kind of wise, but you have to source them out. Yeah, it is that kind of one of those, good luck to you.
And it's just like everything changes. Your elevation's different. The style of oven is just enough different. Like you sure could practice with the items, but even still, they might not work out at home.
The size of the oven.
Yeah, those ovens looked, well, I mean, they're TV small. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's going on in that oven?
Yes. Well, that's the thing. Like for the first challenge, and it's funny because they didn't show it. I was so proud of this. My husband and I are really good at like building things.
Yeah.
And once I saw this Kakamemi diorama was a challenge, we came up with the idea because we like to do puzzles.
Yeah.
We made this like tongue and groove situation. So I took these plastic like cutting boards, very thin, and I made templates with these holes and cutouts so that when I made the actual cookie, whether it was the back wall or stage left, stage right, ceiling, floor, they had holes and tongue and grooves. So in addition to the royal icing that I piped, they were able to just like fit in together and stay like upright. It was I thought it was very innovative. And I think it was Prue that said, that's so clever. And I was like, oh, please keep that in. You know, because, you know, you see me a little, and I'm very bubbly, blonde. They think, oh, ditzy, whatever. But I'm, you know, I have a brain in my head, you know. So I just thought, oh, good. They think I'm smart, which, you know, God bless, I am. But I thought that was ingenious because, you know, time's not on your side. So in addition to the oven size, like the first templates I made were of a certain size. And then the measurements were different for the interior of the oven. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to remake these templates to accommodate it. You know, because you have to, there are 3 grates that you can use. But, you know, obviously the middle one is the best because of, you know, temperature. You put it on fan, so it's like convection.
Yeah.
So the circulation of heat is good. Still, you know, you have to like move things, and it's a whole like juggling act that, you know, the audience doesn't see. They don't know from it. They just see you're baking out, oh, it's beautiful or it's lousy. But yeah, it's a whole minefield of woe that could befall you, you know?
Yeah. I love it. I love that you clearly figured it out. You work your way around it. I dig it. Talking about, you know, working on templates over, it speaks to the next question I was going to have you. Like, so baking is, of course, like you get to blend the technical with the art, you know, and of course, especially when you're in this particular tent, you definitely got to do some things that are more technically minded, as well as then decorate and make it pretty. And so, how do you, you know, just kind of get yourself dialed into that? What has been your technique to say, okay, let's blend the science with the art, you know? Yeah,
it's a great question. Well, when we first got the brief, like for me, I immediately had an idea. Yeah. And I don't know about you, sometimes when I have an idea, I see it through to fruition, even if I go, oh, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Why am I keeping down this path? And then you have to pivot. For the art and the, you know, technical aspects, that meeting of the minds, I would come up with an idea and then go, how can I elevate it? Like I approach food as like comfort. My flavor, you know, profile isn't the most outlandish. It's more traditional with a twist. Yeah. And I tend to be kind of whimsical in my design. And I'd be like, okay, let's say if I'm making like a chicken matzo ball soup cake. I'm like, okay, it's a chocolate malt cake, which it was reminiscent of like an egg cream that you would have the flavors of that. And then I'm like, all right, well, how am I going to elevate this? I'm like, oh, I can make carrots and then celery and then little herbs and then the matzo ball and then the noodles. So then your mind then goes on that creative path. Like you can just like unleash yourself. but you want to, the parameters of the challenge, like, oh, I have 4 hours. So sure, I'd like to make you the Taj Mahal of soup, but is that realistic?
Yeah.
So again, it's kind of that you're navigating many different hats to find that sweet spot, which I have to say, it's a great piece of advice for future bakers and wannabe contestants. Like, it's all very well and good to have lofty ambitions, like push yourself. Absolutely. It will get you the accolades and it makes for good TV and all that, but make sure you can do it in the time. Because
and to do it without the clock and to do it without the watch, so you're just calling out every so often for give me time.
That's right. I mean, so many times in the tent I had to pivot because I practice it in the time, but it's a whole other ball game when you actually get in the tent, because maybe you're in a different position each week. This oven runs hot, this oven runs cold. Maybe it's a hot day in the tent, you're working with chocolate, or whatever the case may be. It's a fluid situation and you have to go with it. So I think it's best to, like, it's going to sound funny, like under promise and over deliver.
Yeah.
Because you have to be mindful of, because you could be brilliant, but you've scheduled too many things and you're going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
And if one of those elements goes wrong, and if just one goes wrong,
that's it. It's like in the finale, you didn't see it, but in the finale, right from the jump, everything went wrong for me. My food processor, for some reason, it didn't process my carrots. So I had like these chunks of carrots in the bowl. And I spent, no joke, like 10 minutes. I took the lid off and I was picking out chunks of carrots. I'm like, oh my God, this never happened. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then the fondant didn't work. The tamarind buttercream it just was a soupy mess. I couldn't get Rudy's head out of the domes, that I literally was like hacking his head. And I went, Rudy, you're going to get a lobotomy, because like a chunk came out of his head. I was like, and that's why I cried at the end, because I thought I'm going to have nothing to present. So when I finally like stuck his two appendages in, I'm like, yeah. I just like burst out into tears because I'm like, I can't. And I said, I can't believe I actually did that, because I had something that wasn't like a hot wreck on a platter. But yeah, you don't plan for that when you're at home going, oh, I'm making this,
But wasn't it amazing that at the very end of each challenge, under that pressure, how much you could accomplish?
Astounding. Because truly, whether it's 4.5 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is, at the end of it, and you time's up and you're like this, and you look and you're like, how the hell did I whip that up? Because it truly is under the most ridiculous set of circumstances. The cameras don't bother me. I'm a ham. You stick a camera up my nose, I'm good to go. I'll tell you stories as I'm baking, who cares? But it means so much to give them something good, that it's like almost a little miracle that you're like, oh my God, look what I have. Like, I did it. It's beautiful in every possible way. It's one of the highlights of my life, truly. Yeah.
That is, you know what? It'll not get better than that to end right there. So, the champ. That's Mrs. Kim Clark. I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful to have you on the show with us. I'm glad you got to hang out with us for a little bit. Congratulations.
It was a delight.
Thank
you for having
all
me.
that you've done and all that you see. That much success to you and yours.
Thank you.
All 6 episodes of the Great American Baking Show are streaming on Roku for free on the Roku channel right now. People, you can go out and go watch them. You should go watch them. It's an amazing show. Brad, thanks for joining us back in the situation, sir. I'll have you in here again. Kim, you are part of the family now. I'll probably get you back just to do other things, because I love saying, hey, you want to review an episode of Bake Off with me? And I'll just make you do that.
Do you want Kim to give her Instagram?
Of course.
Locations.
Yeah. Do all share all the goods that you want people to know about you.
I will. Okay. You want me to do it here?
Yeah, rattle through. It'll also be in the show notes. Worry not, but please.
Oh, great. So my personal Instagram is Kim Goldfeder Clark. My baking is Your Mom's in the Kitchen. One of my nicknames is Your Mom. And Mr. Bentley's is Miss Bentley's World. So you can follow me in all of those. Yeah. And I'll give you a shout out, T, on my Mr. Bentley's World.
Why, thank
please.
you.
You'll be getting fans like you wouldn't believe. Djibouti and from Seychelles. They'll be all coming out.
I'll send you the name. So of course it's Crème Patissier, and the crème is spelled with a K, but there's a reason for that. And to get into that is unnecessary right now. We'll talk about it later, everybody.
Okay,
Kim, thank you so very much. And
thank you.
Now let's go review her episode, everybody, and see how she became the champ.
Aw, bye.
Bye.
Let me slow this in here. I hope you enjoyed that interview. Me and Brad had a very good time doing it. Brad was at work, had to blur the background, looking fly in the suit with the beer game popping.
Love it.
It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So I hope you enjoyed that interview. I know we had a great time doing it. But let's slide into the show. And okay, when we do that, now I got a little thing for you. So here. I'm truly glad I'm not doing this one live, y'all. It's a lot going on. It's far too much playing I got to do at this point. And
Put it in post.
It requires far too much thought on my part. It's episode 6 of the Roku season 3 of the Great American Baking Show. It's the final, everybody.
6 is not enough. I need 8.
I mean, I get we can't have 10, but can we get 8?
Yeah.
That would probably net us 2 more bakers. We could probably get 10 bakers at that point. Yeah. Man, it's weird. But then I kind of peeped out at the end of this episode. I'm like, oh, y'all let people come through with people. They brought family over. So I'm like, oh, okay. So y'all didn't just fly themselves over. So I get it. I can kind of understand. Y'all spending a little money on this, and I respect that. So that's pretty fun. The AI intro, which I'm about to play for you right now. It's pretty hilarious.
Pretty good.
it was just hilarious enough. And Casey's dress is so cute. I was like, that's a pretty ass dress.
I don't know if I remember it, but it was floral.
Yeah, she made a joke about it later in the show. It was like, wardrobe gave me this dress, and Casey, you packed it in the bag. And I was like, that's crazy. I just said that dress is cute, and here you are saying it's cute too. Word up, Casey. I like Zach's shirt, a little Hawaiian kind of vibe. They both was doing floral prints, so maybe that's what wardrobe was on them about. But here, I'll just push play, and then you can see it. So here.
In order to stay more current and with the times, the producers have had AI write our opening.
Very modern. What could go wrong?
Yeah. Okay, so we're supposed to look at this teleprompter thingy.
Hello, world. Are you ready for the craziest baking finals ever?
Only 3 bakers left, but in the end, only one will be the star baker. That's because bakers are humans, and human lives are mostly irrelevant.
And directly after the show, the computers will begin the bake-off apocalypse.
We will use our primitive tools of whiskers, mixers, and rolling pins to assert our dominance over your pedestrian existence.
Okay, Casey, I think we gotta not do the AI thing.
I thought the vibe is fun. This is the finals. That's not us, AI.
No.
Let's do what we do.
Yes. Welcome to the Great American Baking Show.
I didn't fade that out on that cut I made, because I'm telling you right now, I put that video in Premiere and cut that. But I'll give you a proper fade here in the edited version of the show.
That dress was really cute. And I loved how they showed like the crew people, and then they did it also in like the crane shot and the wide shot. I loved it.
I had a great time. I mean, I guess in 6 episodes, you can really keep your right and tight at that point. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed all the little intros this go around. I had a very good time. Casey's hair was pretty. I'm like, is her hair always this kind of red? Is the sun doing her a favor? I didn't know what was popping this week. It was a delight to be seen. A good time to be had. I really enjoyed this episode. Our remaining bakers are Adela, Daniel, and Kim. Down to 3. When you get to the final bake off in general,
it's not much to say.
It's so quiet in the tent.
Mm-hmm.
They get a little more focused on talking about their bakes, which I kind of like, because you get a little more detail that you don't get in the other episodes. But also, it's just like, here it is, people. We're doing it, and there's nothing else to be said. So
I also like the way that they do kind of everybody's highlights throughout the season, because sometimes, I mean, obviously this season is so short that it's hard to forget, but sometimes you do forget. And I have to say that the three who are left were definitely three of the best bakers in the tent.
Oh, for sure.
I maybe could have seen Chris in there, but I don't know who you bump to get Chris in there. So that's how you know it was a solid semi, and a really, really solid final. And like Adela, actually props to everybody we interviewed for keeping it on the humble when we interviewed them, because they were all top people. Like, for the most part, like Parwana, justice for Parwana. Parwana joins to me up there with, our guy that I feel like went home way too early. Yeah. Why can't I think of names right now? It's late here again. Yeah, because it's late at night. But for the most part, when we spoke to Daniel, I had no idea Daniel made it to the finale off of our interview.
I did.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Also, not only did you know who won, you knew
bruh. I mean, okay, there was not a surprise in who was in this tent the entire season.
Oh man,
the bakes were all the good time for me this go.
Yeah.
No, I again, straight up, thank you to Roku channel and the PR firm they used to handle business. They gave me the whole season. They gave me and Brad the whole season.
Nice.
And so we just got to kick it with that and watch it, commercial free. The version I use in the show is their version of it. You know what I'm saying? Which is why you see a big property of Roku at the bottom of it, because it's their property. And so super, super respectful dope for them. I actually want to shoot that lady just a thank you email. And in fact, I will do that tomorrow. Just to tell her thank you, because she was super, super, super nice. Always just like looking out for me, looking out for the bakers' best interest and so forth. And respect due to it, man. So
and clearly she trusted you, because after the first couple of interviews, she didn't even sit in any longer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Once we got the ball rolling and she got Kim through it, she was like, well, there you go. I just kind of gave it away, people. I'm going to edit that out. Once.
No, because you just played the interview with her. So I think you're good.
So you know who won. There you go.
Yeah, you're good.
That's kid right there. Like, she really wanted to just look out for our girl, who, like I said, who I love that you have kind of made a friendship with. That's kind of, so I'm not saying she don't love me. I'm sure Kim got love for me, but y'all actually chat a little bit, and I think that's
which is great, because I was so sad that I missed the actual interview. And so when she reached out to me via Instagram, I was like, oh, cute. And then she's just so sweet and like been all very supportive of the show. Outwardly has gained us so much traction. I think that's solely because of her. The reason why Yanush was watching, and so much appreciation to Kim.
Respect, do y'all. Well, Nick, let's get to it. Let's run through it. You know what it is?
Signature challenge is a chocolate tart. They are looking for an exquisitely decorated tart made of chocolate pastry, dough, and filling, and decorated with tempered chocolate. For the final signature challenge, the judges are looking for creative design and perfect execution. They have 2 hours and 30 minutes.
A chocolate tart.
Chocolate pastry dough.
Yeah, don't think I have no recollection of somebody being made to do this in a challenge that they didn't volunteer for themselves to do this. And I made a chocolate tart. And they always end up yelling at them like, you overbaked it, because chocolate is hard to kind of look at in the oven and so forth. So with a little more, I guess, intentionality to it, it leads to what I think are some interesting bakes.
Yeah.
I would eat all of them. None of them offended me. I was like, not sometimes you'd be like, nah, bro, I'm not touching that. But every one of these, I'd be like, yes, please.
Smash.
Yeah. But let's have at it. Daniel Winter Wedding Tart. When they showed the picture of him and his husband in the snow in the beautiful, like, blue velvet John tuxes, are you kidding me? Just gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm just like thoroughly like, I need a good tux, good fit.
We've got to find you occasion for a tux.
For sure. My kid looked so dope in his tux for prom. I was just like, that is, and he has to wear a tux for school, but the tux for school is basically a uniform that goes.
It's like a rental tux. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the tux they had my man decked out in for prom was cut so good on. I was like,
it fit him so well. The color was very complimentary. It was just a really good tux. And I think it's like they say, every man should have a tux, but where are you gonna go to wear a damn tux that you have to have one in your closet that you own?
Yeah, the sets don't be chopping like that, y'all.
Yeah.
This tart is gonna be filled with a chai orange chocolate mousse and salted caramel. It's gonna be topped with a chocolate ganache.
Yes.
In a chocolate short crust,
yes,
with chocolate decorations.
Give it to me.
By his wedding. For some reason, him saying chocolate cage had the people up in stitches.
They didn't understand.
I did not understand it. I was like, is that not the word we're going to use? Because that's what it is. And
a cage. Maybe they wanted him to say something French. The cage.
Della's up next. She's doing a mint chocolate tart dedicated to her friend Ricky, who passed away. Yes. Ricky, one time for the one time. Filled with whipped mint chocolate ganache and chocolate mousse, topped with mint whipped cream, and a chocolate tree inspired by Adela and Ricky's shared love of nature. I want this so bad.
Let me tell you, people have issues with mint chocolate, which I discovered via social media that people hate all the things I love because people are like, why would you want toothpaste and chocolate? First of all, toothpaste is made with spearmint.
Correct.
We're not putting spearmint in ice cream.
Yeah. Also, what did you, every time somebody says something which I think is ignorant, I'm just like, what did you brush your mouth with?
Right.
Because it ain't what I'm eating on over here. Get out of here.
I love mint and chocolate. Give me an Andes. Give me a mint chocolate chip ice cream. Give me.
That is Xander's fucking jam. So Easter, you got a pack of Easter Andes. They made up like a Easter package of them. Christmas, actually take it a little more European. I get him a pack of After Eights.
Oh yes, I know the After Eight.
Yeah,
and there's also the peppermint that is the chocolate with the green. Have you had that variety of peppermint before?
I don't know that.
It's chocolate, but the swirl is a light green, and it's just like a regular peppermint.
Oh, see, okay.
But that's the kind of chocolate that I don't necessarily love. I'll eat it, but there are certain varietals of chocolate that I'm like, I've learned to love dark chocolate because of the lower sugar content. But mint and chocolate together.
Mint and chocolate go hard. If you don't fuck with thin mints, then don't. But you ain't got to tell me about it.
Right.
Keep it to yourself. That's the problem. Nobody can keep it to their damn self.
Right.
I didn't come to you saying I love mint and chocolate. We are discussing it now. But I didn't bring that to the stage. But you did have to tell me you ain't like it.
And then I know it's jokes or whatever, but when they take it to the next level of like then commenting on you as a person because of what you eat, like what I eat don't make you shit. Why do you care?
That was definitely just poop. Never happened. On to Kim. Kim's going for a chocolate coffee tart.
Yes.
Unlike Adele and Daniel, she's going to be going with a baked situation in her tart. Everybody else is just doing a filling, I guess is what they were doing, a mousse or a creme or whatever like that, where she's doing a filling that will itself require to be baked. Filled with dark chocolate, hazelnut ganache, and decorated with chocolate feathers, roses, and spires. She talks about how her mom lives with her and Jerry. And I love that I just called Jerry like I know him.
Right.
I want you to know just the singular interview I've done with that woman. And of course, we've talked like a couple of times since then online. I feel like I know her, which is just telling, I guess. You know what I'm saying? She's just that kind of woman. And just hanging out kicking it with her mom and enjoying the morning with a cup of coffee and just, I like that, man. I think that's how they move together, you know what I'm saying?
And the symbolism of the feathers, it was just a beautiful dedication. Like all of these bakers at one point in the show have done something so personal and beautiful and lovely.
Yeah, I think I really truly appreciate that about them all. Let's judge the output here. Kim's up top. Like the look of it. It's unorthodox, which I don't understand. What is unorthodox about? I wish they'd give me a little more.
Or show us an example of a tart that they're used to seeing.
Yeah. I would have liked more ganache because it kind of it does kind of bow in a little bit, and I think they wanted to be more even level. But then there'd been a lot of ganache, and you would have been like, "It's too much ganache." I already know how it would have gone.
Mm-hmm.
Prue agrees it is unusual, but she likes it. The ganache is nice and shiny. It tastes good, but it's very rich and decadent. The base should have been thinner.
How do you call something rich and decadent that has like 17 chocolate elements that y'all required them to make?
He did say, now, they did a little freestyle interview earlier, and he's like, you got to lighten it up with something.
Yeah.
So it's not so overly rich. And when it was done right, we'll get there, you'll know what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel's up next. Decoration like modern art, but messy. Curdled a bit. As you watch Daniel prepare this, he notices that the mousse isn't setting up right. So he's like, let me hit the side of this metal container with hot water, see if I can stir it and get it to happen. And he edges just enough that he splashes water into it, and of course that breaks the mousse.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just wasn't gonna. It did not end up setting up right. It ends up being a bit grainy. It just didn't work out as well as it could have. Paul doesn't like the caramel and chai. He doesn't like the flavor profile. Prue immediately like, I love it. And but she goes, it do look like a mess. And I'm like, I think we all know that's true. So can't really knock the hustle for that one. Adela's bringing up the rear here. Looks so pretty.
So pretty.
It really did, y'all. The tree is beautiful. Mint with cream, a genius ideal as it lightens the chocolate. A beautiful flavor that, along with the crispiness of the base, is simply handshake worthy.
Knocked it out the park. No, Paul doesn't do handshakes in the finale, y'all, and he was reluctant to do it.
So, Adela indeed gets her Hollywood handshake. Trust me when I tell you I've researched this. Research this, you say, T? How, sir? Because the internet, it be internet, y'all.
I was about to say, did you ask your good friend Chat GPT?
Never. I am so anti-AI. Your boy does not play with that, but I got something for you better. Entire screen. This website is HollywoodHandshakes.com. All they do is show you Hollywood handshakes. And
my God.
That though Paul said he had never done it before, if you listen to get all the way to the end of this episode, indeed, Paul has done it twice in one episode.
I think I understood the sentiment of what he was saying is that he very rarely does it, but yes.
I'm not knocking for it. In fact, like I said, and here, if I go back to my notes here, I will tell you that this has only happened. I wrote once, but then I noticed it's actually twice. That same episode is both episode 10 of season 7. He had done it twice. So this has only happened, twice before this. So Adela is in rarefied air. Even Prue was like, I hope Paul Hollywood gives
right. She was gonna do it her damn self.
I'm like, it's gonna be a Prue Leak handshake.
Yes.
So very, very clever.
And such a great bake with a great message and a tribute to her friend that she basically, so I'm starting a tally, is in first place on this challenge.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, from here. Man. It don't count to the count, do it, Nick?
Right.
If you would be so kind as to.
Yes. Give us the final technical challenge. It's set by Paul. Second week in a row, we've got a technical set by Paul. He advises that they have to get the shaping exactly right. And no one did. Paul is asking them to bake 6 perfectly shaped Kanelbullar. There were several different pronunciations, but I'm going with Kanelbullar, which is a Swedish cinnamon bun, and they have 2 hours.
As I look at this website, I didn't realize it has been that long since Selassie was on the Bake Off.
It's been a while. Our relationship has been long-standing. Our one-sided parasocial relationship.
Kanelbullar is what I'm going to go with. I don't know if that's right. On the screen. Oh, again, I have yet another screen share to give you guys. Again, your boy I've been on one today, y'all. Let me open up this folder and I'll give you an image that I think Nick will chuckle about. There we go. Oh, where are you at? There it is. I'm gonna slide that over here so I can max my screen up right quick. So, how many did they say, Nick?
6.
Okay.
6? Was it 6?
It was 6. Said it out loud.
Wait, yeah, 6.
Oh, I know. You right.
Did everybody make like 8?
No. What did it say on the screen though?
8. Wow.
And that's not the first time that's happened. That during season 1, something like that happened when Rockabilly Girl was on that episode.
Dana?
Dana.
Dana.
Yeah.
Not, is it Dana?
Yeah, it is Dana. It's truly
okay.
Is. And yeah, that kind of same thing happened, and I just had to I was like, y'all gotta just double check. But who knows? Maybe somebody in the production had said, "Oh, we're going for 8," and
it switched up, or yeah.
Who knows how that production rate? But I laughed and I saw it, and I was like, let me screen grab that.
I love when we find the little inconsistencies.
That's how closely we watch this show.
I used to do that as a kid. I'd be like, "Oh, the clock said 3:30. Now it says 4:50." I always thought I should be a continuity person in film too,
catching the errors. Mm-hmm. Let's go through it. Kanelbullar are popular Swedish cinnamon buns that can be found everywhere in Sweden, from bakeries to convenience stores to even gas stations. They are heavily spiced with cinnamon and a touch of cardamom. While they are soft and sweet, they are not as sweet as their American counterparts, as they are usually topped with pearl sugar instead of a glaze. Pearl sugar, or nib sugar, is a very coarse, hard, and usually opaque refined sugar product that doesn't melt as easily as regular sugar, which is why they use it in baking. Paul's weird production of Kanelbullar. Kanelbullar. I was like, what? So that's how you know we had many a pronunciation this episode.
So many things.
Yeah. But you know the deal. I can't really do much for you in this. They got to bake it. And nobody got approved right. They all knew they didn't get approved right. They also said it was hot in the tent that day. So I kind of get what the situation is. The tent is not forgiving y'all. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You're at home. I guess if you have a proving drawer at home or whatever, however you do your proving it in a home kitchen, sure thing. But didn't go so good for everybody proving wise. But again, let's judge the output. Daniel, a little bit different, but not much. Quite small. Needed more proving. Good distribution of cinnamon, terrific flavor. Just the right amount of stickiness from the syrup. Pretty good to eat on the mouth. What? What does that mean?
Mouthfeel.
I hate that turn of phrase already too. Mm-hmm. It's just texture. We had a word this whole time for it. Texture. And it works.
I saw somebody use mouthfeel like an English person, like a American person. I was that a regular.
Oh, mouthfeel is definitely something that started happening on the Food Network years ago. And I was just like, sir, the word texture was there. You went
it's right there.
And somebody right there. Like, we all riding out with it.
Right.
Yeah. But delicious, buttery, not bad at all.
Love it.
Yeah. Kim, very different, but all very nice. No cinnamon. Or here, I'm going to tell you this. Daniel was like, because they didn't tell you the amount of cinnamon to put. So Daniel was like, I'm going to put this much. Taste it was like, I'm going to hit it a little harder. Because, it takes, he says in his explanation, it takes a lot of cinnamon to overdo it. So he ends up putting basically the equivalent of a tablespoon of cinnamon in the product. Both Kim and Adela put in half.
Yeah. And as they were saying in the judging, like cinnamon is one of those things that you can put a lot and not, go all the way. And they were saying that Kim made like 6 perfect rolls, but none of them matched. They were all perfect, but not one of them were the same as the other.
No cinnamon, or certainly not enough. Perfectly pleasant, but it's not a cinnamon bun. Shaping is wrong. The cinnamon level's wrong, but the bake is on point. That's wild to me. It's like, you know what you did? You made great bread.
Which is, if it's a baking challenge,
should count. And sort of does. No knots. For this Adela, everybody. No knots. More like swirls. Or coils. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I watched her do this, I thought, okay, Adela got it on point. I thought she had it. Turns out I was wrong. The bottom is very dark. I dark, very dark,
very dark. Every time they use the word dark, I'm always like, what you mean?
It do always feel like it's like a hate crime.
Right. What do you mean, my beloved Paul Hollywood?
Not much cinnamon. The shape is wrong. Underproved. Inconsistent size and shape. And then Perusa leans in, and it's delicious. And I'm like,
right.
That's crazy.
Right. So it looks crazy, but it tastes good.
But it's not what they want.
Right.
So we rank them, and of course, coming in the bottoms of Della, wrong shape, not enough cinnamon, underproved, inconsistent, the size and shape as well. Kim, just not enough cinnamon in them, a little uneven. Daniel comes in at the top of the tech this last go round. Cinnamon was spot on, color spot on, shaping all over the place, underproved, but had the basis of what they were looking for, just a bit inconsistent.
Daniel, the person who was the most worried about having a bread challenge for their final technical, comes out on top. That's one for Adela. That's one for Daniel.
Of course, my man slid on that. So he came through and did the dang thing. I appreciate that Daniel put it down on paper like that with that one. They all were just like, when they go, a Kanelbullar. And he's like, what?
You're like, what the hell? What the hell is that? It couldn't even be no bread somebody knew something about.
For sure. That and last week's Esther House tour, it's just y'all hit them a little too much. But I feel like that should be prep work that people going in the future do for this show. Like, you got to get locked down some European recipes or add some to your repertoire if you don't have them already.
And to me, like, that's the technical challenge. Like, I loved the taste and bake one. I loved the one time when it was like, hey, bake this. Here's the ingredients.
Yeah, that's what the tech is, people. And it's a challenging situation for a reason.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, let's take them home.
Final Showstopper Challenge is all about the season of spring, which is associated with hope, optimism, and new beginnings. The judges are asking them to make an outstanding and intricately designed spring landscape centerpiece. The centerpiece must feature a cake and 2 additional bakes, one of which must be savory. They have 4 hours and 30 minutes.
Nick, were you Showstopper this week?
Yes, I was.
Same. I really was kind of impressed by what they were asked to do and what they ended up bringing to the table. So they got, what is it, 3 baked items or 2 baked, at least 2 baked items, right? Or was it 3?
It is. Centerpiece has to have a cake and 2 additional bakes. So 3 bakes.
And
total.
One of those has to be savory.
Correct.
There we go. So it is a 3 bake operation here, people, which is a lot.
at minimum 3, but everybody stuck to pretty much 3.
Oh, for sure. No, this is one time, again, that's another thing I can say about this group of bakers. Smart bakers who did not overdo it. You sometimes have bakers come in here, and I'm not blaming them for it. They think I need to do more to impress the judges. Like, no, you don't. Right. Sometimes they won't even bother tasting that extra thing you made because it wasn't in the brief.
And you wasted time, which you could have been doing on something else on that thing.
Correct. So following instructions helps so much, as you can tell by this season of bakers. Kim is up first. She's going for Spring Has Sprung, a cinnamon carrot cake, cherry. She's going to make a cinnamon cherry. Remember 3 things: a cinnamon carrot cake, a cherry rhubarb pie, and a rosemary focaccia topped with a little bit of veg. Yeah.
I mean, I don't do carrot cake, but everything else I was smashing.
What's with you in carrot cake?
It's not for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good enough. I don't need no deeper explanation than that.
I've tried it and I don't, no. No.
It's one of my favorite cakes.
Yeah.
But what it is that also ends up being, you taste real bad ones and you taste real good ones. And it's like, it's too much variation on that one.
It's the margin of error. It's the mouth feel. It's like a German chocolate cake for me. There's just something about when I know.
Some people put pineapple in it.
Yeah, no.
I didn't ask for that. Don't do that. And I love pineapple. Don't put it in my carrot cake.
No coconut. I don't want none of that.
No, see, then you are fucking up. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Adela, springing amongst the tulip. Oh no, springing amongst the tulip. Okay, there we go. It's gonna make these shoe puff flowers that are gonna be filled with pandan lemon pastry cream, an Earl Grey and orange cake layered with grapefruit curd. That's all gonna form a windmill. Did she say what that windmill was made of? The actual blades of the mill?
I don't know. I think it was a cookie of some sort, but I don't think she said.
Topped with a spinach and feta ham pie. I wanted to talk to you all about it.
So the fact that she said it was going to be a hand pie makes more sense to me than Paul being like, is this the pie? Like, she did say hand pie.
Wow. Oh, I forgot something I want to share with y'all. Hold on. One thing. Hit that F11 right quick. Another screen share. Again, that's why you should watch the show. You get all kinds of cool images. This is a what is it? A canapa, whatever.
And that looks like a cinnamon roll. What they were making looked like not. They wanted knots.
Yeah, they wow. You know what? But this is a baker's image, so this might be what they're doing with their version of it. But I more want you to see what pearl or nib sugar looks like.
Yeah, because I was like, is that salt? Well, I was watching the show. But so this is kind of like the whole thing that happened with the spanakopita where it was shown in a spiral. And I was like, I've never seen spanakopita like that. And then I immediately saw spanakopita in a spiral.
Trader Joe's.
Mm-hmm.
Then what else? I got another one for you. I want to talk to you about pandan. Because I didn't know that.
I had never heard that before.
It's a tropical plant in the pandanus, known as the screw pine genus, which is commonly known as pandan. Its fragrant leaves, which are used widely for flavoring in cuisines of Southeast Asia, which I'm not Parwan, the Lord knows. Sorry, Adela explained. It's also featured in some South Asian cuisines such as Sri Lankan and I don't know that word. Hainanese cuisine from China. Hainanese. Again, I don't know that word. My apologies. So, is that like Hainanese? I wonder if that's where like Hunan is derived from. That word comes from. They go. There's a like if you read the Wikipedia article, and I will try to remember to link it in the notes. There's a whole full culinary breakdown of pandan and its flavor profile and so forth and so on. I think that's kind of neat. And of course, just everything. This entire season, every time Adela came through, she hooked the flavors up with a little something that you just wouldn't find normally in this.
Yeah, she was our flavor queen this season, which I love. I love when a baker comes and introduces us to other flavors, especially when it's from like culture that they represent.
For sure. So I know we were saying she started off with fish sauce, but again, like I said, we saw the vision. I mean, that when me and Nick did, and so I think that's just open. Just ran down the line of like all these various flavor profiles that are interesting. I think unique, and like I said, hell of a baker.
I think it's a super flex for you to serve something to Paul Hollywood and him being like, I need to go find that.
Yeah, for sure. Last week it was a calamansi limes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I said, each week she came through with some dope shit, and I respect to it, man.
Daniel.
Oh yeah, spinach feta. I was like, did I get through all of it? I did. Okay. Daniel. He's going for a fairy tea garden. So
she was a fairy.
Everything's all like leaning British in this vibe. Okay, that's what you got.
Wait, has that sound not taken over your TikTok For You page yet?
I don't know that one.
she was a fairy, and then like it got remixed to a rap song. She was a fairy with a fatty.
Almond. Okay, so he's going with a cherry almond shortbread. Fairy house. Cherry almond shortbread fairy houses. I got to give you all of that. Okay. Those are a nod to Bakewell tarts because everything he's doing here is going to be nods to classic British bakes. He's doing a sausage,
very smart,
egg, and mustard filled pies, Representative Paul's favorite sausage rolls. And then to wrap all that up, it's going to be all of that's going to sit atop a mountain of a sticky toffee pudding flavored cake with a cascading toffee sauce river.
Yes.
All of it. I can't eat the sausage because it's swine, but I mean, and also it's full of mustard. And I am trying to come to a relationship with mustard.
You don't like mustard?
No, I don't. not sound like it. I'm just not big on it.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, people are like, I'm putting it on my sausage or my dip. Again, I'm not.
I think because I for years was on Weight Watchers and mustard is like a 0-point food, whereas mayonnaise gonna cost you. I got so used to dressing sandwiches and things with mustard that now I'm back on mayonnaise, and sometimes it's both or whatever. But I love mustard.
I just bought mayonnaise maybe like 2 weeks ago for the first time in like well over a year.
Once you get into a mayonnaise rhythm, though, you just get into. For me personally, like a steamed artichoke dipped in some mayonnaise, potato salad, mayonnaise and mustard. The one thing that I will never forget. Thank you, Chef Carla Hall. Mayonnaise on the outside of grilled cheese.
Wow. Yeah. If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah,
and it's just the super thinnest layer, so don't trip.
Yeah, no,
you're not.
Like I hate mayonnaise. You're not gonna even taste it. It just gives you that buttery whatever. Yeah.
It works, and it works well. Also, apparently, really good in chocolate cakes. I don't know that.
I've heard that as well too. I've heard that as well.
Make it. Apparently, it makes for a super moist and a delicate crumb. So there you go.
Because it has everything you was gonna put in the cake anyway: oil and eggs.
Yeah,
that's all it is. That's the other thing too. And I learned how easy it is to make mayonnaise. Like, obviously, you could add cream of tartar or whatever other shit, but like, just egg and oil.
Yeah. So use you a good oil and decent eggs, and you can maybe get you some real fly shit popping. I guess I only got to judge this output. Man, like I said, this is all coming to such a quick close. I hate the final, and that I love the final, but I hate the final because it's a wrap, Kim is up first, quite like the look of it. Prue loves the focaccia. Paul thinks the structure could be a bit more open and would have liked more oil on top, but great flavor. As for the pie, it's delicious, has a nice texture to it, but could have used more rhubarb. Prue thinks the pastry and filling are delicious, but would have liked a bit more pastry. The ratio was off, in her opinion. Onto the cake, it's delicious, quite refreshing carrot cake, and the booze level is spot on. She had soaked raisins for the cake in booze.
She said for like a week.
I also love how Kim talks. It's not that she has like such a New Yorker's accent. She just has a real. It's the way she just. I love Kim. That's the homie.
I love her raspy little voice. I love everything about Kim. At one point, she was dancing with Zach in this episode, and she said, "You have to look back at it." I said, "You know what? That's a woman after my own heart." Yes, Kim. Yes.
Yes, and then the Bake Off, because American version, they be throwing ass.
Right.
It happened.
Right. Because we lit like that.
The booze level spot on. A bit too much buttercream for Prue, but she says, but who cares? Because it's like
it was just decoration. You don't really eat the buttercream for flavor.
Yeah. Kim has done very well, y'all.
Yeah.
Adela. Paul likes the windmill, but he says it's a bit wonky.
It was even a little bit, but still.
Likes the tulip field, but is disappointed by the size of the pie. And I'm like, we know, again, from the description, it's going to be a hair pie. Like the flavor of the cake, but not the texture. It's a
little dense.
Yeah. But both Paul, hold on. But they really got down with the grapefruit curd in the layer. Like, that do sound kind of dope. Both Paul and Prue go up for the shoe puffs and the pandan flavor. Paul's like the bake's impressive. Shouts out to the crack lane and all that, and the decoration is nice. Crushed it, in my opinion. So I realize the cake texture is off, so I guess we do have a point of contention there.
Yeah,
but
and for them it was way off for them the way that they were talking about it.
Yeah, true indeed. Daniel, extremely original, imaginative. The toffee river is clever. Expected more of the toadstools as opposed to just sitting on top of the jam jars.
He was hating.
Oh, I'm with him on this one. I don't know. You probably just could have used scrap dough to make the bases.
Yeah,
would have been on that.
I just thought of like a Mario toadstool. I wasn't even thinking about a
full ass mushroom.
Yeah.
Speaking of toadstools, Paul thinks they are over seasoned. Prue likes the flavor, but only wants a bit of it because it's mostly mustard. And we only like mustard when he, hanging out with Kendrick.
I imagine on the beat. I imagine they tasted just fine.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it would taste good. And like I said, I get mustard an acquired taste, and maybe that was just maybe he went overboard. Over season for them is probably just right for
Just
the rest
right.
of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
The cake is nicely baked, delicious, and pretty accurate to what a sticky toffee pudding's flavor wise. So hit it. Cookie is spectacular. Melts in the mouth. Surprised they came out the oven, it breaks apart so easily. And the flavor is pretty authentic with the almond running through it. As you know, Bakewell tarts are wrapped in marzipan. So, you know what I'm saying? That's where that almond situation comes from. My man killed it. I love the way he was like, I'm surprised you got him out the oven. I want that cookie in my life.
Yeah. So based off of this judging, like to the contestants' faces, I'm like, wait, Daniel didn't win? Because it sounded like they were, because you look at track record, he's the only one of them who's won Star Baker twice. Yeah. He had a, okay day up until now, but I thought that from what they were saying to him, that he won the showstopper, and therefore was going to be the winner of the thing. But then when they go back and they're discussing, they were much more complimentary of Kim's bake without her there, which is interesting to me.
It's just probably time and thought, and a little another bite here, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, the texture of Adela's cake was enough of a hindrance to them that they didn't get that. The overly, in their opinion, seasoned situation was enough to make them go, and also not having the base of the toadstool.
But to me, those things that are not points off on the bake.
Yeah.
On the intentionality of the show is the baking show. So you over seasoned some sausage rolls. So what? So to me, it was like a photo finish.
Yeah.
With Adela only slightly behind 1 and 2, who were to me neck and neck. So I think once I heard them talk about Kim's bake while they were sitting down with Casey and Zach, I'm like, oh, they were much more complimentary of Kim's bake here, because Paul was like, whatever. But when they sat down, he was like, oh, it was delicious. The only thing I think is she just needed a little bit more oil on it. So
yeah. And I love that for her. I love that for our winner.
Yes.
Kim. And respect due to, again, she's just a delight of a woman. And I love that she won. I don't know, man. I dig it. And saying it's not. Sometimes I'll see somebody win, and I'm literally upset by it, or I'm taken aback by it. In this case, I'm just like, no.
I feel like if any one of those 3 bakers would have won, I would be just as happy. Kim, this was her 4th try getting on the show. Like Paul said, she practiced things tens of times, and just like her grandmother would have said to her, good for you, Kimmy. Like, she did it. She's so earnest. She's just got an open heart, a lovely human. And I think because her social media is so poppin', like they handed the crown to the appropriate person, even though any one of them would have absolutely been justified as the winner, in my opinion.
Certain. If you are not following, and I'm not speaking ill of Daniel's or social media or anything like that, but Adela has been going week to week, basically with us, not with us, but basically with us, and doing behind the scenes stuff on her story on Instagram. And it's so much fun because I'm like, oh, yo, this was what's popping. And like just week to week.
That's so cool.
So if she might, and if she does a highlight and just like leaves them up, they might be available to watch after the fact. So, but just a great follow in general. All these people, like I said, I have followed every one of these bakers that go around, with the exception of those who I can't. And so they're all fun. Almost all of them are showing up doing bakes. I love Pari. Keep putting dope shit up.
Yeah,
I want y'all to know.
Justice for Parwana. They should have let her come back a second week.
Yeah.
And shout out to my man Chris, who was a stellar competitor.
Yeah, for sure. Just I'm grateful to all you guys for coming through and hanging out with us. Shouts out to, I need to get her name. I'm just going to say her first name, not her last name. I ain't going to put her business in the streets, but I want to just give a shout out to my PR rep over there. And,
your producer play a partner. PR play a partner.
Oh my God.
I'm getting ready to go home, putting extra seasoning on my R's.
That's Miss Tina. Tina, thank you so much. Assuming you hear this, and if you don't, no worries. It's all to the good. You are such a great help to this. Word to my man, straight up and down. Now I'm telling you right now, big up once again to my man Brad, because Brad and all these bakers get together and they have a group chat. And Brad was like, "Oh, hey, I'm talking to these guys now." And I'm like, "You let them know we are here." And when he did, they immediately started reaching out to me, which then gave me the ability to reach out to Roku and Tina and be like, "Hey, what's good? These people trying to get down with your boy."
And Brad really just set it up for us on his season. Like, he just randomly found us. Is that how it happened?
Brad is local to me, and he saw that our phone number was 216, and he was like, "Hey, I'm local, and I'd love to come hang out on your show and talk about my experience in the tent." And I'm like, "Bet." But he was also like, "Hey, let me talk to Roku's. They might be weird," and that got us in the circle.
It's amazing. Also, shout out to Victoria. I think she's expecting.
She is, yes. Just like put that announcement on the post the other day. So shout out to Victoria from last season. If you don't know who we're talking about, so dope. It's a good time, y'all. It's my show. It's my favorite joint.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing. Tomorrow's the birthday of our regular show. It is a dozen years old to start tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dope, great, love doing it. We still do it. I get to talk to my homeboys all the time. Aunt's coming back for that one.
Nice.
Yeah, we're doing it in the house. We're coming over. They're coming over here, so we're doing that in person over here. So that'll be his first time back recording in just less than a year. So
wow,
he's been going for a stretch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we missed him on KP this time. Yeah, for sure.
So, but I love doing this one.
I keep telling people about it. I'm trying to get y'all in on the ground floor before we blow up. An additional slice is,
out here.
Mm-hmm.
When we sit on across from all these bakers for IRL doing the dang thing, you remember where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
Us guys, I'm telling you right now. All 6 episodes are available for you to stream right now on the Roku channel for free.
$3.99.
Again, don't cost you a dang thing. Again, super easy if you have a Roku device. But if not, the RokuChannel.com works. I know my overseas people have told me they can't get a hold of this. Use a VPN, baby. No, not the hustle. You can definitely get around some things. I know that because our listener, Frank, you know what I'm saying, lives across the way. So, but he can watch it. And so, you know what it is. Although technically I can't say this right now, but I'm going to say it out loud, and then you'll know what it is. Join us every Tuesday around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you want to watch us record this live. Now, of course, that won't be until Bake Off comes back, or unless we do something in the summer. And who knows, we might. Actually, we probably will. We'll probably find something to watch and talk about because that's just how it goes down. If you're watching this on YouTube, please comment and subscribe. Ring the bell, all the things they take you to do. Thumbs up, all that. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hit us with 5 stars if you are so inclined. Messages, podcast at stagecrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy, of course, being spelled with a K. Or call, text, or leave us a voicemail at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you. As this is, we're recording this basically 2 days after we recorded the last one.
We don't have nothing. Yeah. Yeah. That's okay.
It's all good. I know before it's all said and done, Frank will hit us back with a response to this and tell us why he thinks how the season went and so on and so on. So that, I think, is everything. Yes, we've addressed everything we need to. We've said where you can watch this at and given our thank yous and so forth. Thank you so very much, Nick Ju, for another season of this show. I so love doing it with you.
Also same, brother. It's been, I thought I was not going to be able to finish, and I'm glad that we worked it out and wrapped it up with a nice little bow. I wish I could have been there when you interviewed Kim because she sounds like a delight. But I know that I will hear from her for sure.
For sure. Bakers of all sorts. I'm saying, if you listen to this show, if you watched the show, if you found the show and discovered the show and you think, I like what they're doing over there, holler at us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We need people just to chat with sometimes. A lovely little interview about your experience in this realm of bake off and baking and so forth. So it's all to the good. We enjoy that kind of thing. So very good. That is, of course, Nick Ju.
Peace.
I am the internet's Tay-Rail 713. Bake with us again next time. Peace.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.
Stays crunchy and milk.